Infusionsoft is one of the most powerful CRMs in the market, and as any other tool of its class, sometimes it could be a little overwhelming for those who are getting started using it. In this Infusionsoft Basics series of tutorials, I will be covering everything I can think of about the basic tasks and operation of this great tool that will help you set the foundation to develop and grow your Infusionsoft skills. We all know the importance of keeping a solid, healthy list of contacts. There are different ways to add contact records to your Infusionsoft database, but this time I will specifically show you how to import contacts from a CSV file. Before we get started, I want to show you how a CSV file looks like. Probably most of you know how a CSV file looks like, but for those who doesn't, let me show you. A CSV file is just a document that handles data in a spreadsheet. This is the one that I have as a sample, and you could probably get something like this if you export your list of emails from your email client, such as Hotmail or Yahoo, MailChimp, or Constant Contact, or any other. Or you can simply open up a blank spreadsheet on your computer and start building it from scratch, adding your contacts manually. Whatever method you use, you're probably going to end up with something like this. As you can see, I have different columns: first name, last name, company, phone number, email, address, address line 2, city, state, zip code, country, and job title. But if you don't have that much data as your contacts, at the very least, I would suggest that you have the first name, last name, and email. With that, you'll be perfectly good to go and import your data into your Infusionsoft app. Even if you have only the email address, Infusionsoft will allow you to import and create records from a CSV file. So once we have our CSV file located and with all the information needed, we're going to proceed and go back to our Infusionsoft app. After you log in, you're going to land on your dashboard. So you're going to click on that menu button next to the logo on the top left screen of your Infusionsoft application. And we're going to go to Admin, Import Data. Click on it. Since I mentioned at the beginning that this tutorial is for how to import contacts from a CSV file, we're going to skip all the rest of the options that we have here. So we're going to leave these contacts selected here from the drop down and click on the Go button. Then we're going to click on the Browse button here, locate our CSV file. Note that if we have any other type of file like Excel spreadsheet file or any other extension, Infusionsoft won't read it. It has to be a CSV file. So after we select our file, we click on Open and then the Next button. So as you can see, Infusionsoft tries to read your spreadsheet and tries to match each of the columns that you have in your spreadsheet. For example, the first name, last name, company, phone number, and email are all recognized automatically by Infusionsoft, but they're having the system is having a little bit of an issue trying to locate the address field. So this is easily fixed by clicking on the arrow next to the drop down, and we're going to try to find the address field that it corresponds to. What I would recommend as a default is always save it as a billing address. So we're going to select street address 1, or unless you know that it's a shipping address, then you can select that it's a shipping address, or unless you know that it's not a billing address and not a shipping address, then you select the third option. It is completely up to you, but in my case, I always select the address that I have. If I have it, I will always put it as a billing address. I'm sorry, billing. City, state, and then the zip code, same thing. I'm going to scroll down and find our postal code. and the rest has been matched automatically. So I click on the next button. Once all the arrows are green, it means that everything is okay, it looks fine. So next. In this third screen, or in this third step, Infusionsoft's giving us the opportunity to correct if any of the countries are not synced correctly with what they have as on their database for countries. So in this case, everything looks good. So we can click on next, and then it will always ask you if you have permission to send marketing emails to these contacts. So make sure that you have permission for the contacts that you're adding, from the contacts that you can send them marketing emails. We're going to say that we have permission to it because we have to make sure that we have permission. So if we have permission, we click on yes, and then click next. Okay, so after completing all the previous steps, you're going to land to these last steps with the done button that you can see at the bottom of the screen. So once you click on it, it will start the process of importing all the data from your CSV file. But before you do that, I will always recommend that you add a tag to all those contacts that you're importing, so that way you know where they come from and you can locate them. If in case you want to do something special or extra, or if you missed something, you can always find them, or find this specific batch of contacts that you're adding and go back by pulling the tag on your contact search. So in order to do that, we're going to click on this link that says run some actions. And from the drop down, we're going to select apply remove tag. And if you have a tag here, for some reason you have a tag already set up for it, you can select it from the list. And if you don't, you can just create a new tag. I always date it. So today's date, and I say import a sample from CSV file, and then from the category, I already created a category. You can create a new one by just putting the name here. But if you already have a category for it, it could be temporary category, it could be any other category. For the sake of the example, I created a category named sample data. So I'm going to select that category and I'm going to create the tag. Once it's created, it'll be automatically selected. So I'm going to click on the save button. After it's saved, I make sure that it's the correct category, the correct tag, I'm sorry. And here's when I click the done button. So the process starts. Okay, after the process has been completed, you will get this successful message on your screen. And please know that it could take a few minutes more or less, or a few seconds more or less, depending on how many contacts you're importing. It's usually pretty fast, but if it's not the same to import 200 contacts than to import 2,000 contacts. So I hope you find this helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, please write it down below. I will be monitoring and I'll get back to you as soon as I see them. Thank you.